helmet and a paddle, right? Yep. Awesome. So keep those 3 important pieces of equipment with you. Don't lose those, all right? All right. So a few sanitation things before we go. The 3 T's of the river: toilets, trash, and tobacco. So if you guys need to use a toilet, there's one here at the office. You'll have a second after the safety talk if you need to make any last-minute trips. There is one at the put-in, and there's one at the takeout, so nowhere in between. If you guys have a bathroom emergency in between, if it's number 1, that's real easy. We'll just have you jump into the river, and you can just go right into the water. If it's a number 2 emergency, it gets much more complicated. It involves a plastic bag and a buddy. And guess what? I'm not going to be your buddy. I'm betting the other guides won't be sold on that either. So preferably try to avoid that situation, all right? Awesome. So trash. If you guys have any trash on the river, if you have a snack or whatever and you have a wrapper, just give that to us guides. There's a lot of people that come rafting down this river every year, and if we have mistakes with people dropping trash in the wind or whatever, it gets dirty real fast. So just give that to us. It's really not a problem. We'll tuck it away and deal with it, okay? And then tobacco. If anybody smokes or chews, please deal with that here at the office or at the takeout. We do not allow that on our boats, all right? Awesome. So a few safety things that we're going to go over, guys. This isn't designed to scare you. These are things that can happen on the river. We are taking these boats not down an amusement park ride, but down a real force of nature, so there are some things out of our control. So I'm going to talk about a couple of these things so that you guys are aware of what to do should any of these things happen, all right? So most likely thing that will happen to you today is falling out of the boat. So if you do fall out, the water is very cold. It's about 53 degrees, which can be pretty shocking to the system. So if you do fall out, first thing, just remember to breathe. Try to relax and be listening to us guides. That'll throw you into a temporary state of shock. You'll be trying to inhale, having a hard time exhaling. I'm sure everybody knows what cold water is like. So just relax, focus on breathing, and be listening to us. We'll be instructing you on what to do, all right? If you do fall out of that boat, 9 times out of 10, you're going to pop up right next to it. So the easiest thing for everyone involved is if you just reach up and grab onto that white outside safety line on the boat with one hand right away. The thing is, if you fall out, you're a little deeper than the boat is, you're going to start floating faster. So if you don't do anything, it makes it harder for everyone to come get you because you're floating away, all right? So grab onto that boat if you can. If you're a little too far away to grab on, what we can do, somebody with a paddle inside the boat can reach out with their T-grip to you. You can grab onto that T-grip and they can pull you in so you can grab onto the boat. If you're in the boat trying to hand that out to somebody, don't do the tomahawk thing. That's really scary, and there's not much to grab onto for them, okay? Awesome. So, one thing that we really emphasize is aggressive self-rescue. If you do fall into the water, I want you swimming as hard as you can in whatever direction I'm pointing. Don't just be floating there waiting for someone to come get you. That means a lot more time in the water for you and a lot more chances for things to go wrong. So if you do fall in, just start swimming. I'll be pointing, I'll be yelling, swim to me, swim to that boat. So just be listening to where I'm pointing. We always point in positive directions. I'm not saying, Killer Death Falls, don't go over there. It's always a positive direction, all right? So wherever I'm pointing, get yourself there as fast as you can. If you guys do fall in and you're too far away from the boat for us to come get you, or you're swimming and not a lot's getting done, you may use what we call a throwback. So what this is, it's a big bag of rope, about 75 feet of line inside here. So I'm going to yell to you, swimmer, rope, and I'm going to throw this thing right at your face. If I hit you in the face, that's a good thing. It's not because I don't like you, it's because now you know exactly where that thing is, all right? Notice I did say swimmer rope, not swimmer bag. If you grab onto the bag, you're going to find out exactly how far 75 feet is before I can help you out. So I really recommend grabbing onto the rope right there, all right? So grab onto that like a baseball bat, 2 hands. Don't wrap it like this. I know that gives you a really good grip, but it also gives that rope a grip on you. If I see you do this, I'm just going to let go. We're going to have to find a plan B. So grab it like a baseball bat, swing that over your shoulder backwards, if I'm at that in there, and let me pull you in. That way, this is going to pop up. It's going to give you a little pillow. If you try to go in forwards, you're going to experience the down water skier effect. Water under the eyelids, rocks hitting your whole front region. Not pleasant. So, over the shoulder. Any questions on the throw bag? Awesome. Alright, so what else we got on there? So, hazards, strangers. Alright. So, in this river today, guys, the bottom of this river is made up of a bunch of big round rocks. So what can happen, very dangerous, if you're swimming along in a rapid and you feel the bottom of the river start to bump your feet and you decide maybe it's a good idea to try to stand up, and your little size 9 foot finds a size 9 hole in the bottom of the river, you're going to find yourself doing underwater push-ups in a very low oxygen environment, which is extremely dangerous. So, easiest way to avoid these, if you guys are aggressively self-rescuing and swimming, there's no way you're going to get in foot entrapment, all right? If you're floating with your butt down, your feet up in front of your face, there's no such thing as a butt entrapment. So really easy to avoid. Do not stand up in the river. If you guys end up swimming to shore because they're pointing, swim over here or whatever, crawl until you're out of the water. Do not stand up, even if it's only this deep. It's possible to get foot entrapments in water that's only a push-up deep, okay? So crawl till you're out of the water. Second hazard, it's called a strainer. So what that is, basically a tree, branches, cars, anything that's fallen into the river that water goes through, and large things like people do not. So if you find yourself swimming and you see one of those things downstream of you, I want you swimming left or right of it as hard as you can, all right? If you find out at the last second there's no way you're going to get away from this thing, what I want you to do, turn onto your stomach, swim directly towards it as fast as you can, and once you get to that thing, grab on and try to launch yourself up on top or over it. That way, either you're going to get pinned where you can breathe, which is a much better situation and we can come get you, or you're going to get all the way over, slide over, and keep on swimming, okay? Don't try to go underneath and find the secret tunnel to Narnia. It probably doesn't exist, most likely doesn't exist, and usually ends poorly, all right? So preferably around, last ditch, over, okay? Awesome. So situations that can happen where you'll become a swimmer. So the first of those is called a wrap. Basically what that is, your boat's floating sideways down the river, there's a huge rock here and we don't do anything about it, and we hit this rock, what's going to happen is that downstream tube is going to start to ride up on the rock, the upstream tube here is going to take on water, and it'll wrap that boat around the rock like cellophane on a watermelon. So the bright side about this is it is also very easy to avoid. What we'll do is we'll call a high side left or a high side right. It'll be the side that's closest to that obstacle. So everybody's going to move over to that side and wade down that tube so that when we hit the rock, we just ride right around it and keep on going rather than wrapping, all right? So we'll go over how to execute those in the paddle talk at the put-in. Second scenario, a flip raft. Pretty self-explanatory. The black side's up, no longer the green. Everybody's in the water. Couple important things to remember here. If you do pop up and you're in a big green slimy cave, it's okay, you're not in heaven. You're just underneath the boat. So easiest way to get out of that, put your arms up, find the top of the boat, and just pick a direction. Start walking yourself out. Once you get to that side tube, you can grab the inside safety line, outside safety line, 1, 2, 3, dunk yourself out, and that way we know where everyone's at. So if that boat does flip over, your guide's going to be up on top as quickly as we can. We'll be counting helmets, making sure we've got everybody, and then we'll be instructing you what to do. We may be having you swim to another boat, swimming back to our boat. We'll get that boat reflipped. There may be a point we'll ask you to let go of the boat so we can do that. Just listen to whatever we've got to say. We've done it before, so we'll get it figured out, all right? Awesome. So last thing here, if anybody has any health concerns that you need to let your guide know about, if you've got a bum knee, any crazy allergies, things like that, please let us know before we get on the river. Everybody's going to get to go rafting today. It just makes it easier for us if we have a little heads up in case something does go wrong. We don't have to figure it out in the moment, okay? So whether you want to talk to me before we leave or talk to your guide once we get there, just make sure that information gets out, all right? Awesome. How we doing over here?
Looks like we're done.
All the good stuff? All right, so that's all I've got for you guys. If anybody needs to use the bathroom one last time, you're welcome to do that. But otherwise, we are hopping on bus number 12 here. Keep your paddles, all your other gear with you, and let's go rafting. Thank you guys. Thanks a lot.
Yep.